The Moore Fire Department is no stranger to tornadoes. The city has been hit by 3 violent tornadoes since the historic May 3rd, 1999 F5.
I don't know how to explain it, how to describe it. This is terrible. This is war zone terrible. This school is completely gone.
This is Miracles in the News. Welcome back to Miracles in the News. I am excited to hear what you're going to share with us today, Holly.
Well, you know about my obsession with tornadoes. I know you like tornadoes too. So
yes,
I was looking for a tornado miracle story and I came across this story, which it's crazy and it still gives me chills to even think about it.
Oh, I'm excited. We actually, when I was in 8th grade, we actually had a tornado hit our house, as you know.
That's true.
And not like a ton of damage, but ever since then, I have been super fascinated by tornadoes.
Yeah, they're so interesting and kind of beautiful, but at the same time, so scary. And I'll admit, like, I have chased tornadoes in my car before.
That sounds safe.
Yeah, totally
Christian
safe.
actually does that too, though. So I don't blame you.
I knew there was a reason I liked him. But seriously, like, I think we're all a little bit fascinated by tornadoes. But I've only ever chased a small tornado, and today's story is about an F5 tornado, which I would never chase. I don't know what you know about F5 tornadoes, but their wind speeds can be between 261 and 318 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me a little bit nervous about the story that you're going to be sharing with us today.
Well, it should. And sadly, this tornado, like a lot of F5 tornadoes did take lives. It took 24 lives even. So it's really tragic. But as I read about this tornado, amidst the tragedies, there were some absolutely incredible miracles that happened.
Well, I'm already sad, so there better be. There better be some good ones.
I know. I'm sorry. I know that's a bummer. It's just reality. But just wait for it because this is an incredible story. And it took place in 2013 when this F5 tornado hit Moore, Oklahoma. It's a suburb of Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma, that's where your son lives.
Yes, it is. I actually have a son, McKay, and his little family who live in a suburb of Oklahoma City. So yeah, this story was a little extra scary for me.
Sure.
But on May 20th, 2013, a tornado warning was issued for Moore. At 2:52 p.m., a cloud rotation had formed and was starting to touch down on the ground. And by 3:01 p.m., a tornado emergency had been issued for Moore, which is the highest tornado alert that you can have. And it means that there's a severe threat to human life.
Okay, so how big was Moore? Like, are we talking spread out farmland? Or are we talking like densely populated city?
Well, I've been to Moore and it's pretty densely populated. I would say it probably has around like 60-something thousand people who live there. Anyway, so 3 years before this day, Abby Larson had finally saved up enough money to buy a daycare, which was her lifelong dream. She'd always wanted to own her own daycare. And on the afternoon of May 30th, 2013, Abby had run over to Walmart to just grab some juice for her daycare when her assistant, Heather Walker, called her. Heather said, "There is a bad storm and I called all the parents. They're coming to get the children."
10 minutes later, she said, "It's bad. I need you to get back here quick." She and the rest of my staff had already put all the children in one location. She had the infants in car seats, and she had exactly what she needed. She had our emergency preparedness binder.
Oh my gosh. That would be so scary to have to be in charge of all those kids in a situation like that. I mean, my kids, they get scared just hearing thunder.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pressure.
And Abby was rushing back to the daycare because she knew that Heather was dealing with all of this on her own. So she hurried back. But while she was running back, the tornado had not only touched down, but it had evolved into a 2-mile wide F5 tornado.
Oh my gosh.
That was heading directly for their daycare.
Wow.
And she barely got back in time and hurried and joined the group of teachers and parents and 13 children in the bathroom where her assistant Heather had already prepared everyone as much as she possibly could.
The staff did have a tornado plan, and as the twister approached that day, they put it into action.
I had all my teachers and the kids go into the bathroom. I passed them our little nap mats that they actually take naps on, and I had them put them over the children, and then we were all locked and cuddled together. One of our parents had said a prayer, and then there it was.
Oh, okay, so nap mats in an F5 tornado, like I'm not sure exactly how effective that's going to be. I mean, I'm sure it's better than nothing, but like it'd be ideal if they had a basement or a shelter to go into.
And unfortunately, they didn't have a basement or a tornado shelter.
In Oklahoma.
Yeah, so that was the best they could do.
Yikes.
And you know, Oklahoma gets a lot of tornadoes. So, and most of them are not crazy big like this. So I think they kind of get lulled into a sense of like, oh, it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't have a basement or a shelter.
It's crazy.
So here's where it gets even crazier. You're not going to believe this. But a second and a third daycare, Kids USA Daycare, and Agape Land Learning Center, who also didn't have basements or storm shelters,
Oh my gosh.
were also in the direct path of this insane tornado. And as the tornado approached Agape Land Learning Center, a teacher named Miss Kathy heard something absolutely terrifying on the TV.
The news people are saying, if you're not underground, you will not survive. Just waiting for that moment. It was tearing up 7-Eleven across the street. This is it. It's here. It is on us.
That would be so terrifying. And to have to be in charge of all these kids.
Yeah, you can
So
hear
scary.
the fear in her voice.
Oh, what do you
And
do?
at this point, all they could do is just sit there and brace for impact. I mean, I can't imagine how
so
terrifying
scary.
that would be.
15 babies and toddlers inside this daycare the tornado was determined to demolish.
We had them in the bathrooms. At first we had blankets on top of them, pillows, but then one of the directors brought us some crib mattresses that they had gotten out of the cribs. So we put that on top of them and it was perfect. You know, they were all covered.
Brittany Rogers, the teacher here, held the babies tight, including her own 15-month-old son, Brady, while the roof peeled back and the walls caved in.
And at that point, the lights went out, the roof sucked off the building, and the next 30 seconds to a minute was just devastation. All kinds of debris was hitting us. I was thinking, how is my son gonna make it without his mom?
The daycare was completely destroyed.
It just went black, you know, when the power went out, and then all of a sudden the building was just gone.
Just gone, like, in an instant. What, like, was it just a pile of rubble? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, so all three daycares lost their roofs, and the walls were literally crumbling around them
Man.
with debris flying everywhere. So
Scary.
the really crazy thing is that one child named Aria Baird, she was at Agape Learning Center, and she started to be sucked up out of the building. And her teacher, Miss Kathy, just reached out and grabbed onto her leg.
It's scary.
Started pulling her up.
Hold my leg.
She said, don't let me go, don't let me go. She's screaming, and I was like, I'm not letting you go. You go, I go with you. And I'm like, and we're taking the toilet with us. I held on that little girl's leg so tight that my fingers are white.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I can't even imagine. And with this debris flying all over, I mean, they were getting pummeled by stuff. And
I'm sure.
these brave teachers, they just all covered the children with their bodies, children and babies with their bodies, many praying or crying out to Jesus. And let me tell you, their prayers were heard. Miraculously, not one life was lost in any of these daycares.
Wow. How is that possible? That's amazing.
Right? Yeah, it truly was a miracle. And afterwards, the parents were grateful to God and grateful for these amazing angel teachers who saved their babies.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
I am not an expert, but in my heart, I really believe that if they hadn't covered those children, if we hadn't covered those children would be gone. And if it weren't for Heather and Abby, I know the outcome would have been much different. much different.
I'm very thankful for them. They risked their life to save my child. It means the world to me.
A sentiment echoed by the smallest survivors.
My teacher saved me.
He's so cute.
Isn't that the sweetest?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and we got to hear from little Aria too. She was the one that was being sucked into the tornado, and she was saved by Miss Kathy. You got to hear from her too.
Okay.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, like a diamond in the sky. My name's Aria, and I am 4. I remember me going up into the tornado, and my leg was floating up a little bit, and Miss Kathy saved me from there.
Wow. These teachers were such heroes. I mean, it reminds me of the teachers who, when there's a school shooting and they put themselves between their students and the shooter, and they're just willing. I mean, I've been a teacher before. I know these students, they do feel like your own children. And I think that's incredible.
It was absolutely miraculous. And all 3 of these daycares lost their roofs, but Agape Land and A Step Above were completely demolished. I mean, there was nothing left. Only these bathrooms were partially left. I mean, they walked out of these bathrooms to find just devastation completely surrounding them.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, when I first started researching this story, I thought I was reading about one daycare. I thought there was one daycare that had experienced this crazy miracle and survived this F5 tornado. And then as I kept reading, I started realizing, wait, this is like 3 different daycares.
Wow.
Somehow, miraculously, these people were all spared.
Yeah, I mean, clearly these were miracles. If you can see the video, there's just piles of rubble everywhere. The walls caved in. It is an absolute miracle that anyone could survive that, let alone all of the children in all these daycares.
Yeah.
Although it does make me pause and, wonder about the people who did die in the tornado.
Yeah.
And why they weren't spared.
Yeah, I think that's a question that we all have. Every time.
Yeah, I know.
Genuinely, I don't think we can second guess God. I think we just have to trust that He has a plan for each of us, and that when there is divine intervention, I think we just have to praise Him for it. Yeah. And when there isn't, we still have to praise Him and have faith that God is still good.
He can see the bigger picture. He can just see so much more than we can.
Yes.
And trust his reasons.
Yes. His ways are not our ways, and His thoughts are higher than ours. And By the way, I have sworn off chasing tornadoes after doing this story.
I'm going to make Christian listen to the story too. So that
make him listen to it. I realize that's probably
no more tornado chasing.
No, seriously. And since the tornado in 2013, a lot of people have donated their time and their money, and they've pitched in to help these daycares rebuild. And Abby Larson's dream of owning a daycare has not died with this tornado. Still alive and well. She still has a daycare. And all of the schools in Oklahoma City have gotten storm shelters now, including these daycare centers. So
yeah, I kept thinking, why don't they have better shelters in Oklahoma? Go to a basement, go to a shelter or something. So I'm glad to hear that.
Well, and one thing that I know is that God always turns, whether it's tragedies or whatever happens to us, for our good. And both miracles and tragedies can be catalysts for change. And this tornado brought about a lot of change for this city. They came up with better building requirements, and they mandated more storm shelters. And the whole city has become a model for other cities on how to prepare for a devastating tornado.
Today, the city is stronger, safer, a model of how to rebuild better. The term "more strong" originated in the aftermath of the tornado. It's a city defined by its resilience, stronger today than ever before, and a model for how to come back from the brink to thrive.
So 3 years after the 2013 tornado, many of the children who survived the tornado came together for a celebration of life, and they sang a fun song called The Prep Step. So
Prep Step.
We will end with a segment of this song, which I think would be awesome to teach to your kids. You can find it on YouTube. For those of you who are parents or grandparents and want to teach your kids about preparing for a tornado. But let me just tell you, this is going to get stuck in your head all day, and I apologize.
Forewarning.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, here we go.
My family will have a plan and practice it too.
I definitely could teach that to my kids.
That was just a snippet of that song. If you want to listen to the whole thing, you can find it on YouTube, like we said. And Emily and I are going to learn the dance for that song for sure.
Oh, are we? I think you would do really good solo of that dance.
Oh no, I don't want to do it by myself. You got to do it with me.
But you like the song. It's catchy.
Okay. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us for another Miracles in the News. We hope that you have a wonderful day, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to give us a review, share with your friends, all that good stuff. We appreciate all of it.
And do the prep step.
do the prep step.
Do it.
Thank you for joining us. If you have a miracle to share, contact us at themiraclefiles.com or find us on Facebook.
We're now releasing multiple episodes each month, so subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube for amazing video content as well.
Join us next time as we discover more of God's miracles, and don't forget to look for His light in your own lives.